And I appreciate your anger yesterday leading to the news of the day, which was kind of
A
fun.
little surprising. I thought, like timing wise, I thought it was possible. I didn't think it would happen yesterday
Me neither.
with John Butler getting let go. I thought, I thought it was on the table. I thought it would take a couple days at the very least. So that was timing of it was pretty surprising because it happened like an hour after we were off the air.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a long time.
Yeah.
Um, so that I mean, I think that I don't know if it makes people happy. I do think it relieves some people that weren't fans all along, and obviously it got away from them pretty clearly at the end. And I obviously expressed my frustrations about, and I don't know, is that a dumb thing to get mad about? Like the personnel,
No.
like because that's the thing. Like that's what I couldn't get over, and maybe it's because I don't understand the scheme well enough to get mad at it.
Well, I think several thousand people are mad about it.
About the personnel part.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, like on a base level as a coach, regardless of what you're coaching, I always feel like you have two options. Either play the guys that can run your system or run a system that the guys you want to play can play.
Mhm.
Those are basically the only two things you can do.
I concur.
And he wasn't doing either of them.
So
It didn't feel like to me.
I'm not gonna throw the baby
To
with
me,
the bad.
a,
What about the baby?
a, sp-
So ugly.
a, sp-
What about the baby?
especially towards the end of the season.
Yeah. So
I don't want to say at
last.
no point was he not doing either of those things, but by the end of the season, that's how it felt to me, and I was like, I don't know how you like get that back.
Huh. Yes, Juan. I've had a hot dog, but it's not a hot dog like you think I'd eat a hot dog. This was probably 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I went down. Donald's booth is right below me. That's my guy. So I
Yeah,
go
yeah.
down there every week, and I don't know, he's everywhere these days. So I didn't want the bun, but they had a slice of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So I used the cheese as the bun, and I wrapped the hot dog. And I took 2 bites, and I went up from fifth floor to sixth floor. By the time I got back to the press box, I threw the plate away. I got my 2 bites. So Juan, that's the hot dog that I ate. Just asking that question. Now, anyway, back to Coach Butler.
But yeah, so I thought, especially by the end of the year, it became clear, hey, like I understand there's going to be growing pains with certain guys, but it became clear at a certain point, like, hey, the guys you keep putting out there aren't giving you what you want.
Hmm.
So either those guys aren't it, or you're asking them to do something they can't do, or are currently, right? I get a lot of guys on that defense are young. So when I say they can't do X, I mean they currently could not do that thing. Not that they'll never be able to, right? I think that with the right defensive coordinator and the right scheme, a lot of these guys could develop into really good players still. But the other part that
But what about the baby?
the other part that killed me was we just didn't see them, especially on the back end. They just didn't rotate anyone in there.
Hmm.
And it's not like it was so good, especially by the end of the year.
Are you trying to mess with me?
No, I'm really not. It's the
Because you could easily piss me off.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to tell you how I felt about the situation. Like, don't get me wrong. There were guys I was
I was
mad.
looking for an escape hatch.
I don't think we have one here unless they rebuilt one after the NAB Preps Awards last night.
No.
Listen, I was mad about some defensive line stuff too. Like, I thought for a while it looked like Judy wasn't getting it done. Try somebody else. You know, I thought for certain stretches of the season, like, hey, is there anybody else that could play linebacker? Like, give us a shot here, because clearly there were issues I thought on each level, right? But I think the most frustrating part was with John Butler's background as a defensive backs coach, and it felt like that was the place they were rotating people the least. You don't have to comment if you don't want to. That's just how.
What do you want me to say? Do you want me to say that
No,
I think my kid should be playing?
no, I'll say I think your kid should have been playing. I've texted him that. I was like, hey, Caleb, tell him to put you in there. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know how I feel about Caleb's ability as a player. And I thought that, like, before I even knew him, right? Like, I thought he was a good ball player. So it's not just about Caleb or anybody else. It's also just we saw guys, and it's not about one guy in the secondary. We saw guys struggle. And yes, The Malcolm Hartzog injury has something to do with that because you started having to move guys around in positions they weren't super comfortable.
So I'm not going to throw the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it differently. Out with the bathwater. What? I just saw that Austin entered the chat, so I'm happy.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Is that your guy today?
Austin?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm just glad that he's up and amongst the living.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, 6 feet above ground. That's a good day. So there's lots of things that we talked about over the course of the year. And I'm not typically overreactionary, and I'm super boring. So it's like when I'm processing through what's going on, I'm trying to look at it from multiple advantages. Like I had to cut Ryan off. Like number one, he had too much to drink, but he was asking me some questions after the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell it was 2 degrees out, and my man was trying to stay warm. So he's like, what's DB the apologist gonna say? And I go, huh.
That's a bad way to start. Can I just,
especially after the Iowa game.
Like, that's just a bad way to start.
And I haven't been mad at him in 15 years or however long we've known each other. And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna get you cut off. I'm like, do you want an explanation, or is this am I gonna be an apologist? Because that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But I understand. Listen, I'm not dumb. Like I get how if you listen to me long enough, I can rationalize what's going on, even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? Like
you can see how they got to what they're doing.
Which is the only thing that I usually ever talk about unless you ask me my opinion on it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me back up. So I talked about the Hartzog thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said that's a bigger deal than
people gave it credit for.
Than people give it credit for.
For sure.
Right? Because you start with this premise. That's over here. Now, you do have to build it in such a way where you can overcome that if it happens. You can't always operate in best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
As if ideally everything that you want to execute is going to happen.
Correct.
Like
that doesn't happen almost ever.
But there's a fine line in like, this is how we're going to do it. Understand the concept. Once you understand the concepts, then we should just be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be like that, you have to teach it like that.
Correct.
It can't be, well, we don't have this, so we're going to do this. But for a second, they seamlessly transitioned from moving Sierra outside
into the slot
to inside. Yeah. You seemingly, and I get it, people didn't, some people didn't like the safety changes early, right? It was like, but I do think a lot of people, like, let's not act like everybody didn't hop on the, ooh, this player's going to be good train early.
Mm-hmm.
Because we heard Coach Rhule say, hey, this player and this player could be all conference this or Big Ten caliber this or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of had that in our mind. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to watch this unfold because what I know is really, really hard. I want to go back to just a couple of quick things. I said, hey, I wonder, like, does Coach Rhule, do they really want to fit out of quarters? Do they?
Yeah, you brought that up early.
Really
early. Yeah. That was a conversation with MRI.
Because I'm like, well, how do they want to play it on the back end? And I'm telling you, I need to go back and find it. It was early in the process. He's like, we're playing quarters now. And I'm like, you have to really practice fitting in the run game out of quarters.
Mm-hmm.
You just do because it stresses your safety. So I'm always thinking like that. I'm like, okay, everybody plays a different system than maybe I would want to, or Chenander would want to, or Jim Knowles would want to, or whomever, right? Matt Patricia, like, your system is your system, and you can make it work. But I do know, like, I think what it takes if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Like, okay, it has to be somebody like this, or you need guys like that.
Mm-hmm. You should know what type of guys you need to run the system you want to run.
Right.
That's pretty simple.
Right. Like, Micah wants to move inside.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to be a nickel, or I want to play safety. I'm like, in our defense,
Mhm.
this is what you better be able to do.
If you want to play one of those
If
spots.
you can't do this, then
You can't move inside.
you're not moving inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty
Like,
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Like when I was basketball coach, it's like, hey, I want my point guard to be able to do X, Y, and Z in order to run the system. If you can't do those things, you're not playing point guard.
Yeah.
That's it.
or
Or I got to change the system
you gotta change your
because
system.
you're such a dynamic talent. I have to figure out a way to use you.
Yeah. So you want to be an explosive movement front. And I told you, I was talking to coach, and he's like, "Man, I'll never live that comment down." And I said, "That happens,
Mhm.
right? You know." He's like, I'm not doing anything with you guys ever again." You know, laid out. He's joking, but he's not, right? Because the explosive movement front, when he said it, was how they wanted to play.
Mhm.
I don't have any problems with that. Like,
Because that can work.
Yeah, you don't have to go back and like you don't have to go back and get that. Even though there's this faction, and we addressed this a couple weeks ago. There's this faction that says, well, why didn't they do this in the preseason in the portal?
Mhm.
And I'm like, you guys, you're not afforded the luxury of revisionist history. Like, well, everybody could see. No, you guys, you're starting with the wrong supposition.
Mhm.
The supposition is, if you have these guys, then this is what will happen. That's not how it works, right? The supposition is, if you're the coaches, I have these guys. These are the guys that I got in the portal. This is how I want to play. So I said a couple weeks ago, you have to decide what happened
Mhm.
to the philosophy versus the desired outcome. You thought you were going to do this.
Mhm.
It didn't turn out to be the way you wanted it to. Why? Is it evaluation?
Yeah. Did we think the players were somebody they weren't?
Is it the schematics?
Mhm.
Is it the development?
Are we coaching it wrong?
Is it a combination? Like,
Yeah.
So I'm not, again, I'm going to eat the meat and spit out the bones. I don't need the, I told you so, we need a 320 pounder. We don't. Like, we don't. You stop the run with effort and toughness. You defend the pass with skill. Period.
Mhm.
I don't care how you get there. 3 down, 4 down, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. So if you want to be an explosive movement front, you have to teach explosiveness and movement.
Mhm.
For whatever the reason, it didn't look very explosive. Did you want to be a stunt guy and figured out, the guys I want to play are not really stunt guys? Or it could be this. These guys are really young, like Keona Davis and Winari. Those guys are really explosive. Oh, shoot. Little boomer bust.
Yeah. Pretty young.
Pretty young. They may need a little bit more time. They're going against, grown-ups.
Yeah.
Or, Gabe Moore, he's starting to come around. Very inexperienced at this level.
Yeah.
Needs time, right? Petchuk, they needs a little time. Inexperienced. So you're tinkering with that all season. But you still have to try to win games. So we're watching this thing unfold.
Mhm.
And it's like everybody, the opinions are starting to form.
Sure.
Right? We can't do this. We're good at this. We can't do this. Meanwhile, coach, you still have to coach. You can't go get new players. You can just continue to develop and work with what you have. Couple of things where I think, because you could kind of see this coming, but schematically you had to play different, right?
Mhm.
And I said, Nebraska's just not in a position defensively where their dudes cannot afford to not be dudes.
Mhm.
You had a very small margin of error.
Yeah.
That means while you're developing what you need to do, you need Williams, you need Winari to have an excellent week.
Yeah.
You need Keona Davis to be locked. You need Riley Van Poppel to be whatever, tenacious. You need Gabe Moore to do this. You need, like, you're only going to play about 6 or 7 guys, right? You couldn't afford. You needed Judy to develop, right? For whatever the reason, his body progressively got worse during the course of the season.
Yeah, seemed like it.
He's a big guy that never really seemed to like get in. Now listen, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to tell you I can't balance my own family, and I'm 50, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know what you do at that age
Mhm.
with a family, but it is what it is,
Yeah.
right?
It's a complicating factor
It's a
for sure.
So I want to I want to be cognizant of that, and I think Nebraska wanted to be cognizant of that because what happens with coaches sometimes is you see these flashes.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter who the player is. It could be.
It's hard to get out of your head.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see Rex make a play, or I can see Shavers make a play, or I can see Wright make a play, or I can see Singleton make a play, or I could see Judy make a play, or I could see what. And it's like,
oh, that's what he's capable of.
That.
Yeah.
So the hard part is while you're trying to grow in the season is managing it.
Mhm.
Where I think it ultimately got away. Whatever. So I'm just giving you all the the variables.
Yeah.
Where I ultimately think this is just my opinion. You didn't ask, but
I mean we got into it.
this is where I think it got away from them.
Yeah.
So philosophically, you had gotten away with chunk plays, no chunk touchdowns.
Mhm. Tackle them, make them snap again.
Yep. But you were really, really good against the pass.
Mhm.
I said this.
Still second nationally.
It started to get away from you during the UCLA game. I'm like, you cannot let UCLA throw for those kinds of yards. People looked at me. You're ignoring. They can't stop. Listen, man, I know what they're trying to do in the run game. Like they're making a concession. They're not saying, "Hey, run the ball on us." We're saying, "Hey, we don't want to give up. We'll do this, this, and this, but we're not going to do this." But you started to do both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So UCLA started to rack up, big passing. He wasn't efficient, but you were getting chunked. Then Penn State. Right? Like less yards per carry than that team was going for when they were getting hot. The rushing yards was still too much. But it was on average for what they do.
Yes. Correct.
The passing game was not.
Right.
You can't go 11 to 12 for $188.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Iowa. They run the ball for 213.
217, 213, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Not going to get you killed.
No. Especially the way they were doing it.
You can't go for 166 at the same time.
Yeah.
I get it. 377 is not, or 379 is not it's not even the total yardage. Mm-hmm. It's what your defense is allowing the opponents to do, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're progressively getting worse and the philosophy is it's the opposite of what you're trying to show.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you sold me as a partner, hey man, like my job, just trust me on this, DB. Like I'm gonna keep us on task, and I'm gonna be the hammer, and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Over time, if you start to not be that, I'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
You told me
XYZ.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then ultimately, and I don't see this bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't like revisionist history because I said it real time. I don't think you can say to the masses what you need when it was your philosophy to begin with after you see it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
That's hard to.
That's hard to get me. It's like, and I'd like today, like if he's like, hey man, let's go get a ginger ale. I know you love my son. I'd be like, cool. Because he's super smart.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he's a big picture guy. But this business is about, like, you have to have some resolve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always give you the three options, right? You can double down on the process. You can ask yourself what you could do differently. Because early in the preseason, he said, hey, I'll look and see what's happening.
Yeah.
This was in the press.
Yeah,
I'll look and see what's happening, and I'll adjust.
Yeah. Like, hey, maybe we'll end up doing a little bit more of this, or maybe we'll end up doing a little more of that, whatever.
So, it's I think, when you're looking at when he intimated, and I wanted to be clear with Sam, right? He intimated about the
Yes.
body types and stuff in the pro. And I'm like I'm just telling you guys like that sends a bad message to your team. And like we went through this process together early, and they were like, okay, if this is the vision, let's do it. You're not afforded the luxury before it's over.
To be like, oh, well, we should have had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I felt like
Like,
dang.
kind of getting away from him at that point.
Yeah.
The thing that, and to address, I think Terrence mentioned it here, and you brought this up, right?
I don't know, did I? What are you gonna say?
Do you you don't love the optics of what it looks like in the run game, right? But you can understand what they were trying to do. And as long as the pass defense was as good as it gave you a shot. That was sort of my point all year, was if the pass defense is going to look like it is, and you're not giving up the touchdown runs the way you did against Michigan, which was really the only game they did that, of the long runs actually being like scores. As long as you're not doing that, you're going to give yourself a shot. The problem was, like you said, starting at UCLA in the second half, and then obviously Penn State and Iowa, you also stopped doing the thing that gave you a chance, right? So at that point, you're not really bringing anything to the table that lets me hold on to it and say, yeah, I can see what you're trying to do. Or maybe I could still see what you're trying to do, but you weren't executing any of it at that point, right? So that's what the change was from, say, USC, where they hold one of the best offenses in the country to 200 yards under their average and half their points, to UCLA and Penn State and Iowa, where you go, oh, well, the pass defense is gone now too. There's really nothing left.